The Department of Public Health and Human Services is pleased to bring you Aging Horizons. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, fraud, legal issues, veterans benefits, and caregiving. Aging Horizons is a program dedicated to inform and prepare Montanans on these timely issues, making a difference to you and your loved ones. Here now is today's program host.
Hi folks, and welcome to Aging Horizons. On today's show we'll be talking about caregiving, particularly with AARP. AARP has 14% of our population as members, and caregivers in Montana, 24% of our population are giving care. You maybe never imagined that you would be doing it, but someday you will. We have information on that right here that can help you, so please stay tuned.
Did you just text me?
I didn't want to disturb you if you were sleeping.
Sleeping? I'm sitting right next to you, silly.
There you are. Hey, I found a couple of Medicare helping programs online that I think we ought to look into.
It says if we qualify, we can get help paying for our prescription drugs. Oh, and there's a program that can help pay our Part B premium.
To learn more about extra help and Medicare savings programs, call your local SHIP counselor today.
Maybe I better text him.
Someone who said they were from Medicare called and asked for my personal information.
I noticed a charge on my Medicare statement for a test I don't remember having.
I got a letter offering me free medical equipment if I gave them my Medicare number.
Something didn't seem right.
It seemed too good to be true.
If something seems odd, it's probably fraud. Call Senior Medicare Patrol at 800-551-3191 to report fraud. This project is supported by a grant by the Administration for Community Living.
Here in Montana, we love our outdoor activities. Unfortunately, few of them are risk-free. Indeed, Montana is second in the nation per capita in head injuries that can destroy the lives of people we love. That's why you should insist your family always wear protective helmets. But you can do even more. When you fill out your vehicle registration this year, circle the Y and donate $1 to support traumatic brain injury prevention and education. Now that's using the old noggin.
Today, class, we'll be discussing the term ombudsman, a word we borrowed from the Swedes and never gave back. Say you're a resident or you have a loved one in long-term care. Now, what do you do if you're not happy with the care and services you receive? You call your long-term care ombudsman, of course. Your ombudsman is available to support you and your rights. An advocate on your behalf could be the ticket. This is your home. If you have questions, the numbers right there below me have all the answers. Class dismissed.
Hi folks, and welcome to Aging Horizons, brought to you by the Department of Public Health and Human Services Senior and Long-Term Care Division. I'm your host, Brian Lamore, and we're talking about caregiving today, particularly about resources that are available to you as an individual through AARP. You know, we'll all become caregivers in our life at one point or the other, maybe multiple times. So we're so happy to welcome Sarah Medley here. You were the was the CEO of Mountain Pacific, and you're now with the AARP Montana Executive Council. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Well, thanks for inviting me and having me.
Oh, that's great. Well, you know, I mentioned that eventually in our lives we become caregivers. When we're younger, we never imagined that. But it happens, and you do it because it's family, spouses, children maybe. Did you have caregiving opportunities, I guess, in your life?
Yeah, that's a good way to phrase it, an opportunity. Yes, I definitely did. So my husband died of Alzheimer's, and it was the most challenging thing I've certainly ever done. Yeah. And the emotion and the toll it takes when you are working, because I worked, and caring for your husband and arranging other resources for them. I go back to it, and it's almost like you have PTSD. Yeah. Because you think, how in the world did I do this? Yes. How was I able to care for him and keep smiling? So my empathy for the scores of caregivers, we'll go into that in Montana, goes up remarkably.
Yeah. Yeah, I know I was caregiver for my mother, father, brother, and a couple friends, and you're happy to do it, but you don't realize how draining it is on you. And hopefully there's resources out there, and that's why we're with AARP right now. AARP has some resources, don't they?
They do. We're going to be talking about those. And
Yeah.
thankfully, those resources with AARP are available to all Montanans, not just members of AARP, which really impresses me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're very generous, AARP is. But now, November was National Family Caregivers Month. Do you know how many caregivers there are in Montana and how they are getting resources?
It is so shocking. So when I received this data, I think it was a month ago, fresh data, think about this, 214,000 adult Montanans are caregivers, which is roughly 24% of our adult population. I was stunned by that.
Yes. Yeah, and you know, you think about that in Montana, we're very, very rural in the eastern part of the state, but we have isolated cities in the western part. We have people that are affluent and people that are not. How do they tackle this? I mean, we have such a diverse population. It's not like we have one answer.
No, there isn't one answer.
Yeah.
And I think another statistic that really stood out to me, 80% of those that are caregiving are having to spend their own money on their loved one. So whether that's, I don't know, some resources that they might find in the community, that also is shocking. And I think the stat that I remember is $7,200 on average they're spending.
Wow.
Which equates to $1.7 billion a year, which again, I mean, those two statistics stood out to me.
It's just
shockingly.
amazing. And how do we help support these individuals? I mean, when I did all that, I was basically on my own, and I was happy to do it, and balancing the job and balancing, playtime, let's say, and taking care of them. You can get caregiver burnout. We were talking earlier about Jimmy Carter, how his wife died before him. Caregivers burn out, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. And I remember my children, I have 2 adult children, and they didn't live in Helena. So one of their concerns was, Mom, Dad is becoming so difficult. He was one of the angry ones that had Alzheimer's. So he was a little abusive. And they were concerned that I was going to go before he. And so additional resources were important.
And how did you know to access those resources? Did they find you, or did you have to go looking?
No, I went and looked. And fortunately, my husband was a veteran, so I was able to take advantage of some of the VA benefits for caregiving, which essentially saved me for sure.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. It's called respite. I mean, just someone coming in and giving you a break. So you participated in respite programs, I imagine.
Yeah, well, and caregiving. I mean, they actually helped me take care of him.
Take care of his individuals. So in terms of policy, what's AARP doing for caregivers? How are they helping out?
Well, I think you're going to learn more about that in terms of legislative ideas that AARP is going to be putting forward both at the local level and the national level to change some of the policies that surround caregiving and long-term care.
And first they have to define them, and are they going to be interacting with Montanans to help define that in the future?
Yes.
Okay, so there will be some meetings that individuals might be able to participate in.
Yes, exactly. And I think AARP will be looking for individuals to come forward and perhaps give some testimony or give some talking points or share their experiences.
Oh, that's really good. So we have a telephone number and a website for AARP. They're more than happy to take your email address and to keep you informed, get you on different lists. I know I got a lot of fun things, and AARP is really a big advocate in Montana and nationally.
Absolutely.
That's why they're on the caregiving path. And we're drawing quickly to a close on our first segment, and for our viewers, we'll be talking about more the importance of caregiving. Eventually you'll be a caregiver if you aren't now, or you probably know someone who's giving care. They might need a little bit of help. First thing, talk to them, and then find out what resources are available that we'll talk about in our next segment, so stay tuned.
I was outside working on some equipment, nothing too strenuous. I started sweating and feeling out of breath.
When he felt pressure in his chest and aching in his arms, I knew we had to call 911.
First responders were there before we knew it. 38 minutes later, the doctors had restored the blood flow to my heart.
Now we know dialing 911 saved his life.
Your life is on the line.
This message sponsored by Mission Lifeline Montana.
You've probably seen some big-name celebrities on your TV lately talking about all the Medicare benefits you're missing out on. But the insurance companies who are paying for these ads may be pushing benefits not available in Montana. Fortunately, help is available from a friendly state health insurance assistance program counselor who can help you sort it all out. It's free, and we screen everyone for eligibility regardless of your zip code. It's Montanans helping Montanans. Call today.
We get it. Life happens. We're Energy Share, a nonprofit that helps Montanans overcome energy emergencies. With statewide support from energy companies and individuals, we've helped over 70,000 families across Montana. No matter your situation, we'll help you keep your heat on. Learn more at EnergyShareMT.com.
Hey caregivers, did you know that respite time is your time? How will you spend it?
When the weather's good, I gotta get away for some fishing, and that's a must.
Fred Dahlbeck. Clancy.
My grandson tells me we suck at golf. Fun though. And there's never enough time to keep the old 57 Chevy happy.
Montana Lifespan Respite. Respite for caregivers. It's okay to need it. It's okay to want it. It's okay to get it.
Come on, girl.
Welcome back to Aging Horizons. I'm your host, Brian Lamore, and I'm continuing our discussion about caregiving in Montana, how AARP is helping us to define it, get us some resources, and of course, they brought in a wonderful guest. We have Sarah Medley, you're the former CEO of Mountain Pacific, and you're on the executive board of AARP. You know, we're talking about caregiving, and you went through the caregiving process, as I did too, but it was at a point where we didn't really know where to turn. We didn't know what to ask for. When you look back, what are some of the things that could have helped you when you went through the caregiving process?
You know, I've thought a lot about that, Brian, and my husband and I are my husband was, and I am, a private person.
Yes.
So one of the things I wished I'd done was open up a bit more to some of my close friends.
Yeah.
So I really kept his illness from most people. And so I didn't seek help from friends or neighbors, as it were.
Yeah.
I just took it on myself. And I think that was a mistake. I should have opened up and said, help me.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how many Montanans were actually going through the process of caregiving. And so if I'd known, that would have helped. Now, one of the good things my husband and I did before he got sick enough where he couldn't was modify our will, make sure we had active living will, power of attorney changed, financial power. So I was essentially financial power of attorney, health power, ahead of his, well, I would say debilitation, where he wasn't able to even comprehend money or anything else.
Right.
So thankfully, I had a lawyer who walked us through that, and we were able to do it in a timely manner. That really helped. The other thing that helped was an acquaintance who found out about my husband and said, "Isn't your husband a veteran?" Well, yes. Well, there are resources at the VA to not only provide respite care, but to actually do some caregiving. So I was able to apply for that and receive it, and that was a godsend. So when he had to go to doctor's appointments and I was busy working, they could take him. Or if he later on needed more, I don't know, direct care, as it were, they were right there for me, and they were as close as a phone call away. So I would say those two.
Yeah, that's really good. When you touched upon legal, and I know the area agencies on aging, they can provide some legal services to develop those documents that you were talking about. They have people that go around, and I participated in that. They actually meet with an attorney for simple estates, simple things. If you're very rich, you got a lot of complicated things and you need a good attorney. But they will help you out. They'll fill out those documents and then you need to file them, and then I updated them after 10 years. So it's great that they have that available. But you're talking about friends too, and that's so important. How did the friends help out? I mean, sometimes it's just talking, right?
Yes, it is. Well, you know, on a personal note, I have a group of 7 or 8 friends, which is kind of crazy that we all went to elementary and high school together, and we all live in Helena, and we all went to Catholic school. So we have a lot of stories to share, and we gather monthly. People thought we did Bible study, but actually we studied wine and good beer.
Had fun, yeah.
So every month we would go and have a glass of wine or a beer, and it was a way for me to get away, and I could talk about it or not. So I think enjoying life is part of this, and being able to laugh and joke with close friends. So they helped me indirectly, not directly. So none of them, for example, came to my home and helped me physically, but they were there to support me socially.
Socially, that's great.
Which is critical.
Yes. Well, now the area agencies on aging are starting up kind of a caregiving programs, in-home respite. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah. So in terms of actually what they did for me, or
what they do, they're a resource right now, your area agencies, and they can help out in that they are moving forward in the caregiving direction to help individuals.
That's great.
So they could give them a call. But now, you know, we have a lot of resources. Like AARP has a website that says Take Care MT. I mean, they have a lot of resources. What are some of those?
Well, you just mentioned one, and if you go to the AARP website, there are paths you can take that will guide you into some caregiving options for you, and some resources both nationally and locally. So I would encourage anyone to do that. The other thing that, again, I've mentioned before, I'm a huge supporter of AARP, and they didn't ask me to say this, but AARP provides these resources to all of us. And so there are also additional resources that I found helpful as an AARP member. One example is their monthly magazine, which I look forward to getting, frankly. And there are always articles about caregiving, Alzheimer's, other resources, webinars, a wealth of info.
And it's available to everybody, not just AARP member. Now, we've drawn a close to our second segment so quickly. And for our viewers, again, just go to AARP, I believe it's .mt.org, something to that effect. But so you drill down to Montana, and you can find out what resources they have, and they've got people in your community. Also, you know, if your loved one has some health issues, the hospital has social workers, and they have support groups for individuals with certain illnesses that really help a lot. Now, we'll be back in just a second for our next segment, and we'll have a lot more great information, so stay tuned.
With as many as 1 in 10 Americans at risk for Alzheimer's or some other form of dementia, chances are someone you know and love will receive that diagnosis. When that happens, you may well feel devastated, but know that you are not alone. Help is available. You don't have to face dementia by yourself. Call the free 24/7 Alzheimer's Association helpline, 800-272-3900, for guidance and support.
Out here, we love our animals, from the wildlife to the livestock. Inside, it's the same. They're just like family. We keep them happy and healthy, most of the time. Secondhand smoke puts pets at risk for cancer, feline lymphoma, vomiting, increases the risk of tumors and lung cancer. even causes eye and skin disease. Secondhand smoke puts your pet's life at risk.
Hey, caregivers, did you know that respite time is your time? How will you spend it?
Respite is really perfect for things I like to do, but my son isn't interested in.
Vicki Henry, Manhattan.
Gardening isn't one of his favorite things, and he knows and likes his caregivers a lot, so it's a win-win. Or even something as simple as a bike ride becomes possible when I know that someone I trust is with him.
Montana Lifespan Respite. Respite for caregivers. It's okay to need it. It's okay to want it. It's okay to get it.
It's good for both of us.
I was diagnosed with diabetes in 1992, and I went into denial. It made me angry. I was a professional chef, and I didn't want to change my eating style. It took me a long time to get serious about managing my health. My perspective changed from resentment to one of loving my body, the container for my spirit. Getting help from my diabetes educator supported my goals of improved self-care. I want to feel good and have a great life. My diabetes educator helps me do this.
Hi folks, welcome back to Aging Horizons. I'm your host, Brian Lamore. We're continuing our discussion about caregiving, particularly about how AARP has resources and what they're doing to advocate for caregivers, which we noted in the earlier two segments, need a lot of support. Rejoining us is Sarah Medley. You're with AARP, and what areas is AARP looking into to help support caregivers?
Yeah, so it's a great question, and there are a lot of resources, both on the AARP website as well as area offices of aging on their website. So let me back up. One of the reasons that I said yes when asked by the state director to serve on the executive council of AARP was because I was passionate about legislative changes that could help Montanans, whether it be caregiving or health insurance or more assistance, etc. So I'm passionate about that, and I'm pleased to report that AARP is being very proactive, thinking about the 2027 legislative session. And we all know that it doesn't start January 1 of 27. There are a lot of committees that are working on different potential legislation to, for a variety of things. But one that they're looking at is resources, additional resources for caregivers. And so an example of that might be changes to long-term care policies that have been in place for decades, update those so more resources can be made. AARP is also working on federal legislation to potentially give tax credits to caregivers. And some states are even working on paying caregivers probably minimum wage, but it would offset some of the expenses that we know our Montanans are incurring. And I think I referenced $7,200 on average. Golly, that can be 25% of a Montanan's income, and leaving them with little else. So I'm excited about that and hopeful that we will make some changes, positive changes in 2027 and ongoing.
I know I'm part of a committee for long-term care that we're looking for suggestions for the legislature as to how they can support these individuals. And what's important with caregivers is they're keeping their loved ones out of nursing homes, out of hospitals. And I think our hospitals and nursing homes are pretty much full now, to generalize. So they're doing a great service to the taxpayers, so it'd be nice if the taxpayers could help them. And you know, we're talking about the difficulties of caregiving. I wound up caregiving too for a number of my family members. I never realized I'd be doing that. And it's really, you don't realize, you're happy to do it, more than happy to do it. They took care of you growing up and everything, but you don't realize what you're giving up and how much time it takes, and patience. You know, I mean, with relatives, thinking, do A, no, you should do B, and they want C, and how do you be the peacekeeper? And one of them is to have legal documents put in place well ahead of time, which your area agency can help out with. But it's really tough, you know, and we've got a large percentage, about 24% of Montanans are taking care of a loved one So another 24% need the care. So that's about 50% of our population. And we have to start addressing that because it drives people to poverty. And it's so great that AARP I've got a list of resources that they put together for me. But could you go over some of those so our viewers might, if it's not them, they probably know somebody who's taking care of someone?
I'd be happy to do that. And I've got a list of available resources, but of course, you know, AARP's website, you can find them. But some examples, the Montana Family Caregiver Resource Guide, that has a wealth of information. Another one for veterans, which I think is really important. You can go to AARP's website and they're /Montana Vets. And that certainly would have helped me had I known about it.
Sooner.
I could have done it sooner. Another thing is their online caregiving hub, and they have tools and information. And that's caregiving, AARP.org, caregiving. And then 211 program connects family caregivers to essential services. So I think that's another one that could be used.
And you can give your area agency on aging a call, but you also, you know, hospitals, they have support groups for a lot of different illnesses. And you think, God, am I crazy? Is this normal? Or how can I work with my loved one? And other people have done that already. That's where the support group comes in. And the hospitals have a lot of social workers that help you address maybe caregiver burnout, caregiver guilt. That you go through that too, don't you?
You sure do. And that is another really good point. I wished I had thought of going after some of those resources. I know after my husband died, I felt like, I don't know, that I failed him. It's very discouraging.
Yes.
And fortunately, I sought help and went to a counselor.
Yes.
And there's no shame in that.
Right.
And there's no shame in anything that will help you feel better about yourself.
Exactly. I did the same thing. I had some issues with my mom dying, and I went to a counselor, and they helped me so much. There's nothing new under the sun to them. It's new under the sun to us. How do we deal with it? And whenever a friend's spouse dies or passes away, I suggest that just go to a counselor. I mean, why not? It'll help.
Absolutely. Yeah, I wished I'd done that sooner.
We've drawn to a close on our third segment, and you've been wonderful, Sarah. I mean, you've got so much great information, and AARP does too. They're an excellent resource, and for individuals, can just contact your area agency or AARP, hit that website, and they'll have some resources that you help define.
Absolutely. If I have 1 second, I would show this document that is amazing, and I know they're going to show it later.
It'll come up
on the
show.
website. Yep.
Well, to our viewers, thank you for joining us, and stay tuned. We'll be back in a week.
Special thanks to the Department of Public Health and Human Services for their continued support. Hosts on Aging Horizons are program specialists at the Montana Office on Aging. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions. For more information about Aging Horizons, call the Department of Public Health and Human Services toll-free at 800-332-2272.